Okay, so we've got our C chord there, perfect mirror image. Okay, so down here is cello guitar, but we're not going to be looking at this, because this, believe it or not, is the bass string, the imaginary string. It would be a bass fiddle string down there, kind of thing, if we were doing cello tuning. And it would be displaced because the lowest note on a bass fiddle is an E. It's a P4 tuned instrument. So we don't want to mess with that right now. You can convert a bass into a P5 instrument. So here you go. Convert a P4 bass fiddle into a 3-string P5 bass fiddle. Here's your 4 strings normal bass fiddle, low E, A, D, and G. You take an E to an F. You take the D, you discard the A string, you move the D string down and the G string down to fill in the gap. You take the G string and you down tune it to a C, and then the G string stays the same, and we have a 3-string P5 tuned bass fiddle. By the way, with any of these moving of strings, you can leave the strings where they are and just have that space. So with the P5 and the guitar, it would be just leave a space where the G string is and just down tune the strings appropriately. The E string is the same, and the D string is the same. No G string, just take it out, and then of course you have to down tune the B string, okay, to an A. You have to down tune the A string to a G, and down tune the low E string to a C. But anyway, that's just a little eye candy, right? You know, a little side topic that I stumbled onto while doing chart 480. So what are we talking about here? This is completely imaginary. I don't have this anywhere. I wouldn't do this anywhere. It's like P4 tuning a guitar. You can do it for fun. All the chords become E chords. They're like shaped like E chords. For instance, all the chords on a P5 tune instrument are upside down E chords, and they're all the same, so it doesn't change shape when you go up or down with it, so you can just move it up or down. So the fourth is down now, not up. It's got a major seventh, fourth major seventh sound, because I'm not hitting the F up here like this. Because you move a chord down, you got some other chords coming into play, some imaginary strings coming onto the real fretboard. And then the fifth, you move it the same shape up, and you have the fifth coming in here. Okay, so that's what goes on with a P5 tuned instrument. So you wouldn't want to P4 tune your entire guitar. Everything would be the same though. Everything would be E-shaped. This, as I showed you, everything is upside down E-shaped on the P5 because it's completely P5 tuned. There's no tuning third in it. But there is in this drawing here. I don't mean to sound like Martin Music, you know, that guy who sells you the Medicaid info books. You know, he's always giving you those anti perks, you know. Anyway, so unfortunately, this is P5 cello fiddle tuner. But you know, I love to watch the commercial because the guy's just amazing. Um, so P5 cello fiddle violin warp. Okay. So here, if we push these two strings over one, and they're already shown pushed over, okay, then we'd have the same thing as the 6-string guitar, which is, this is normal for the 6-string guitar to be warped over. They call it the warp. And with the patterns, you know, let's say we have a 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2, Well, if we start that 2 3 4 on the third string where we're going to hit that warp, it would be 2 3 4 5 6. But wait a minute, we're not going over. We don't have the 7 shape for that 7. We've warped it over. Okay, so in the 2 3 4 over here, 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2, what we've got is our 7L. We've got our 7L shape right here. Here's the 7 part, and then we have the L part. So we've got 2 3 4. We've got the L part right here. Remember the 7Ls we used to talk about, the shape of the S3D. This would be a D string shape. 2 3 4. It's a D string shape there. Why is it a D string shape? Because the bottom string of the D cage, the open D on a regular tuned guitar, the open D chord has E becomes the second. So it's 2 3 and then 4, and that comes into play when you're going to the fourth of the D string shape is the G. So you have the G shape there. The fourth is the root of the fourth. 4 is the root of the fourth. I don't know if that made any sense. Anyway, there's our 7L right there. 7L kind of thing. Okay, so let's close the drawing tool for a second. I don't know where we got in this. So again, the only thing to know is that this is imaginary, that these are warped over to be the same as this warp. And you know, I just showed you how it warps the patterns too. But you want to know the patterns and just adjust them for the tuning warp. Here we don't have to do that in the P5. First of all, we only have 5 strings, so we're not going to have this reflection. This is a reflection up here, right up here. This string here is a reflection of this string. Okay, this is the top string of the guitar. Okay, which is a dupe of the bottom string anyway, same string shapes. This is 2 octaves up. It's a reflection. The imaginary 6th string is the bass fiddle string. Okay, it's the bass fiddle string range right down here. And I say range, I mean because this string is really an E right there. And we want to go to a regular, you know, so that it is a reflection of that, but we can't just add a string to our 5-string fiddle. We can, but it would have to be a P4 interval there to go along with the bass string, and then, you know, so that's not going to work because the bass fiddle is P4 tuned, the cello, fiddle, violin are P5 tuned. So that's just a separate problem. We'll hit on that from time to time. Right now, I don't have room for a bass fiddle, and my wife would pretty much tell me, why don't you move into that and sail away, because, you know, I'm not going to get one of those. I got my cello, I got my 5-string violin. And this is what I'm focusing on. This instrument, though, the modified P5 guitar. So this isn't warped down here. So you'd see root down here. So let's look at the difference between P5 warped, P5 unwarped, and what's going on with this. So we have 3 fretboards here. We have the normal cage guitar. So these are your normal cages, C, A, G, E, and D. If you played each one of these as the open strings, you'd get the key of C, key of A, key of G, key of E, and key of D. If you move up the fretboard from the bottom string now, E becomes the 3rd to 5. Now G is the 5th there. This is the G cage, so G is the 5th of the key of C. You can play a shaped C there. Move up 1 more fret. A is the 6th of C, so you can play a G-shaped C there. And then move up 1 more. It's a little difficult sometimes, but root, we're dealing with root. The E shape is the root of C right there. Just play E shape, where E shape always has the root, and D up here are the 2nd, or you can go down from this